Hey there, it's Paul Mark with Transcend Coffee video blog. Time to do another episode, and in this episode I wanted to talk to you about Honduras. Specifically because it's a place that I just returned from about a week ago. Melanie Leeson, our Argyle Cafe manager, and myself were in Honduras to participate in the Cup of Excellence program. And I wanted to talk about that, the actual COE that we are part of. And I also want to talk about the farms that we visited after the fact. And so, because I think it's significant and it's important that you understand sort of the dynamics that are taking place in Honduras. To begin with, though, we arrived in Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras, and we spent 3 hours driving to Marcala, which is the city that hosted the Cup of Excellence this year. It's the 7th year for COE in Honduras. And we were at a hotel sort of resort just outside of Marcala. And there were 22 international judges present to evaluate the coffees for this year's COE event. Just to maybe put the COE in context, what happens normally is farmers submit a sample of coffee to be evaluated by the COE program. That sample is large. It is a minimum of 15 bags under its current rules. And those coffees are evaluated firstly by a national jury. And so cuppers from Honduras were chosen and selected to evaluate, and I think they went through initially 170 different samples of coffee. So after the national jury spent a couple of weeks cupping and pushing forward to the international jury the coffees they thought were worthy of our evaluation, we ended up with 39 coffees. Then the international jury spent 4 days essentially going through those 39 coffees, and any coffee that we scored collectively 84 points or higher ended up going through to an award and being awarded a Cup of Excellence. Any coffee that scores 90 points or higher or above 90 points gets a President's Award. So of the 39 coffees that we evaluated as an international jury, 25 were awarded the Cup of Excellence, and one, the winning coffee, was awarded the President's Award. Just to sort of give you some sense of the international jury composition, there were a number of, I think there were 9 countries represented on this specific jury. There was people from Japan and Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Romania, Canada, United States, Norway. So a very diverse jury selection, which is important because not every market is exactly like ours in Canada or North America, for example. The Europeans are looking for something a little different, and the Japanese are definitely looking for something different. So it really offers sort of a much broader market segment representation, which is important, I think. The other thing that's important about COE juries is that they work on an average system. So the 22 cuppers would score the coffee out of 100 points, and the high score and the low score automatically get chucked out, they get tossed, and then the other scores are averaged. And what that does is ensures that my personal preference doesn't necessarily dictate how that coffee is going to fare. It really does work. As the jury deliberation sort of progressed and as the scores came out, it's evident that the scoring, even though there are people that love to give high scores, their scores weren't dominating the overall results. And so I think I was personally quite pleased with the end results of this last COE jury. I think that the scores were reflective of the quality that we were tasting. One of the reasons I wanted to go to Honduras is because I had never been there, and I was very unfamiliar with the coffee from Honduras. Transcend Coffee has never purchased Honduras coffee before, and it's an origin that I wanted to explore. I was curious about. I wanted to understand the coffees that are growing there, and on my recent trip in February to Ethiopia, I was talking to Ryan Brown from Ritual Coffee, and he was telling me about some of the really exciting coffees he's discovered in Honduras. And so I was curious and excited about going there, and I discovered a varietal that I don't really know much about, or I didn't know much about until this trip, called Pacas. And it's coffee that is it is quite prevalent in Honduras, and it has quite a nice profile to it. Chocolatey notes, fruit, tropical fruit notes, nice citrus acidity. And I'm excited about the coffees that we tasted. We tasted some really great coffees in Honduras, and it was exciting. So as I mentioned earlier, on Friday, I'm just thinking a little bit here, but I want to talk just really briefly about the importance of the COE to the country. Just to put this in perspective, the Congress, the National Congress of Honduras, actually showed up on the Wednesday we were having during the COE event to have a session of Congress there, and the Vice President of the country was present to award the President's Award on the final day at the award ceremony. So it just gives you some sense of how important these events are and how much impact that the Cup of Excellence program has internationally with these countries of origin. Coffee is the #1 export for Honduras, and so it's a very important part of their overall economy, and the government was there in force showing their support for this event. So that's an important thing to note. After the event was over, like I said, I imposed myself on Angel Arturo Paz and his cousin, and they took us down to the Santa Barbara region in I think the western part of Honduras, and we spent 2 days driving around visiting farmers, and I must say that it wasn't what I expected. The farms in Honduras, especially in that region, are much smaller than I really expected, and the average producer is producing around somewhere between 30 and 50 quintales, and a quintale is 1,000 pounds. So sort of 30 to 50 to 60 quintales annually, and that's about 5,000 to 6,000 pounds of coffee. So we're not talking large producers, and the resources that these farmers have is actually quite low. Some farmers in the El Solito sort of area have no power, no water, and so it's rugged and land, and they are working with working without the resources that I would even expect most farmers to have in coffee producing countries. So under-resourced farmers, and yet passionate about working towards higher standards of quality and excellence when it comes to coffee. And so that was really exciting for us. The region, that Santa Barbara region, actually contributed 25 out of 39 coffees that initially made it into the international jury, and 18 out of the 25 that were awarded Cup of Excellence awards were from this region. So I was really excited to go down there and meet with these farmers. We were fortunate enough to actually go visit the winning farm, owned by Jose Amado Fernandez, and a very humble, hardworking fellow who was excited and proud to be a winner. His father had taught him the coffee business and had worked hard his entire life to make his family's lot better. And it was exciting to see Amado sort of fulfill his father's dream, even though he's not alive anymore, because this winning the Cup of Excellence program this year is going to radically alter Amado's life and his family's life, and provide resources for him to do even a better job than they've been doing thus far. And so it was exciting for me to get into this region and start to visit these small little farmers. And when I asked them about what they wanted me to communicate back to you, the consumers in North America, one of the things they wanted me to tell you is to make sure that you understand how hard they work and the level of sacrifice these farmers make on a daily basis to produce the coffee that we so much love and enjoy. And you're going to get to taste, hopefully here soon, some coffee from Honduras. But these farmers are working 7 days a week, long hours, slaving under very rudimentary conditions, because they're passionate about the coffee that they grow. And I need to talk more about this in future episodes, but on that note, I think I'll leave it for this week. Understand the amount of work and sweat and the faces that you find in every amazing cup of coffee you drink. Don't forget, there are people in the cup. So until next time, drink less more often. See ya.